Let me tell you something. I've changed my mind.
What grade are you?
Let's mute this and talk a little bit. We're here live real time. The final bell for WBO and WBA Cruiserweight Champion Gilberto Ramirez versus Junior Dorticos just ended on the, I guess you could say, the co-feature chief support to Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which is coming up next. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I am giving Gilberto Ramirez the slight edge to beat Jai Opeatai. Now, if you would have asked me 2 days ago, I would have said Opeatai. I would have said Opeatai is the best cruiserweight. But I have to say, I'm not sure if Opeatai can beat Gilberto Ramirez in a 12-round fight. Now, the commentary team said that Jai Opeatai is in the building at the Honda Center down in Anaheim, California. And I think he made the right choice to pull up because it's already been announced, and me and my colleague, Big J, we talked about it, is that now it's been announced that the winner of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., by the way, we're going to listen to the post-fight interviews to get some highlights. The winner of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Jake Paul will be ranked by the wretched WBA, the worst sanctioning body of them all, out of the WBO, WBC, and the IBF. The WBA, in my opinion, are the worst. Which means, for the casuals who don't know, when you're ranked in the top 15 of any of these four major sanctioning bodies, the IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO, in this case the WBA, then Jake Paul would be ranked in the top 15. And in the top 15, you can fight for a world championship. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm waiting for them to read the scorecards. Junior Dorticos had a really good run the first half of the fight. And I was concerned about Gilberto Ramirez on the ropes and the body shots from Dorticos and the uppercut. He's a very scary, menacing, powerful fighter. And Gilberto Ramirez is the former Sicario with a heart of gold. I'm just joking. Was taking the punches from this naturally bigger man well.
After 12 full championship rounds,
we're going to talk some more.
We go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision.
And I apologize for the echo. My Bluetooth headphones are fucked up.
115 to 112, while Judge Jack Reese sees it 117 to 110, declaring your winner by unanimous decision. And still,
Gilberto Ramirez got it. And I was impressed with how Zurdo Ramirez, the second half of the fight, because at that point, he was losing. As you can see, one card had it, what was that, 116, 112? But nonetheless, he got a unanimous decision, 2 117, 110s. But, you know, I have a little bit of an issue with that card. I was more of 116, 112. But, nonetheless, he won. So as you can see, he has the WBA and the WBO. If Jake Paul wins against Chavez Jr., Jake Paul will be able to fight to be a unified champion. If Gilberto Ramirez decides to fight him. Let's listen into the post-fight interview.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I'm here with the champ, Zurdo Ramirez, taking his wraps off. Zurdo, congratulations.
Let's see what they're saying on social media.
How would you assess your performance here tonight?
I think I was a good performance for myself. My opponent, he was tough. He can hit, and I mean, I did what I did, my job, and that's it.
Were you surprised by two of those scorecards? Seems like the fight was perhaps scored a little closer than at least our broadcast team thought.
Well, I don't know why it was too close, and I think I had the whole fight. But I mean, it is what it is. I keep my belt, what I say. Gracias, muchas gracias a todos. Viva México, cabrones. Ya saben que hay Zurdo Ramírez para rato y vamos a unificar títulos ahora. se la vamos a dar a toda la raza. ¡Viva México!
Early on, he looked really good. What adjustments did you make later on to at least appear to shut him out? Because in the first couple of rounds, he seemed to have success.
My bad. It was 115, 112, two cards. What was I listening to?
I did tell my plan. Follow my plan. Follow my leader, Julian Chua. That's
Oh, the
it.
point
He's in
deduction.
the
Duh.
corner. It's everything you have to say. You have to do in the ring. That's it.
All right, Zurdo, you know the world wants to see you fight Jai Opeatai. There's a rumor he might be in the building. I haven't seen him yet, but is that the fight to make next? Is that the fight that you want?
Yeah, that's the fight that I won. I'm the king. Número uno, cabrones. Zurdo Ramirez. A huevo.
He is no doubt watching and listening. What is your message to Jai Opeatai?
Make sure you get my phone and call me. Because you don't have my phone and no one called me.
You want the fight?
I want it. I want it all.
Next?
Be ready. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Sounds like you back in the day coming out of the club. No one's got your number in.
So, yeah, I forgot about the point deductions. Let me say this. Let me say this. Opeatai is a highly skilled fighter. He's more of a he's a better mover. Slightly, I'm not gonna say slightly. I'm gonna just say a better, more technical fighter, but not by much over Gilberto Ramirez. Gilberto Ramirez, shockingly, I may give him the power advantage, and also he has a chin. He was taking some big shots from Dorticos, and remember, at one point in time, Gilberto Ramirez weighed in at 160 pounds. He came into the ring at 220 pounds tonight. Former 168-pound champion. Up here at cruiserweight with already a better resume than Jai Opeatai. Because if you look at his last 3 wins, they dwarf Opeatai's. For example, his last 3. Ursulan Gulimarian, title shot. Chris Billam-Smith, title shot. Uniel Dorticos, mandatory if I'm correct, right? Or was he a voluntary? But either way, those are his last 3. Now, when you go look at Opeatai, it's not Opeatai's fault. 28-0 with 22 KOs. Jack Massey, David Nika, Claudio Secoy. Miras Brides, okay, he got 2 of those. But remember what Miras Brides did to him. Remember, let me see if I can pull it up. Remember this? By the way, follow me on Twitter. The links to my social media right down below. Now, Miras Brides did this to him. Damn near tore his whole mandible off. Like, I can only imagine the pain that he was going through winning the biggest fight of his career and the title, the IBF title, and the Ring Magazine title, but not being able to talk or do any interviews or ride the momentum because, you know, his jaw was broken in 2 places. And even if you look at his interviews, he didn't used to talk like the way he talks now. So you could tell there's some long-term damage. Now, I'm not saying Gilberto Ramirez is on the power level of a Miras Brides. I'm not saying that at all. But what my concern is, we've seen Opeatai slow later in fights and have issues later in fights. Both of the Brides fights, actually. And it was another fight, right? I can't remember which one. I think they were just both of the Brides fights. But let's stick to the Brides fights. We've seen that he can have some issues later on in fights, where Gilberto Ramirez is likely walking around at his regular walk-around weight. He don't have to cut weight no more, so he's at his best. And him being at cruiserweight, you know, yes, there's been a bit of a speed. How can I say? Put it this way. When he gets in the ring, he's still faster than the cruiserweights that he fights. It's only been 3, but he's still the faster fighter, so he hasn't lost the speed in an extent to moving up, you know, to cruiserweight. And even though he hasn't been able to stop anybody at cruiserweight, and this is now his 3rd, and that's to be expected, you know, the power don't carry up, but still he don't get tired. And he was taking some significant body shots and low blows. There was the point deduction from Uniel Dorticos, especially earlier in the fight, but he still kept pushing through. So it's hard for me to say confidently that Jai Opeatai can beat him. I mean, yes, Jai Opeatai passes the skill set of the type of, he looks like the type of fighter that can beat Zurdo Ramirez, but I can't say it confidently. In fact, my gut is telling me that I think Zurdo Ramirez can do it. And he's getting the better competition. Like he's being able to really, how can I say, grow and adapt to the cruiserweight division, while Opeatai is not really getting any better or having the opponents to get any better. Now the problem is Opeatai doesn't bring in the money Jake Paul brings in. That's why I am hoping that Chavez Jr. redeems himself and knocks fucking Jake Paul's head off and destroys all of his title hopes. Because then we can see Zurdo Ramirez and Opeatai. But look, Zurdo Ramirez is on the Jake Paul card. If he wins tonight, he'll be able to fight Zurdo Ramirez. So which means they already having talks. In fact, it was confirmed a couple of months ago that there was talks. First, Jake Paul tried to fight Canelo. That fell through, and he thought he was bigger than Canelo, but that's a whole different video. He tried to fight Tank Davis, 5'4" barely Tank Davis, 135-pound Tank Davis. Jake Paul tried to fight, but Tank Davis ended up having a draw against Lamont Roach, so they're rematching August the 16th. And now he's fighting Chavez Jr., a 39-year-old Chavez Jr., fresh out of rehab. And Chavez Jr. was always undisciplined and unserious, kind of failed his way up to the top a bit when he won a title. But this is a 39-year-old Chavez. I can't trust him. He done hurt me too many times. He cannot be relied on. And you know what? I've seen every Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight and did a video for every Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight since 2010. When I was on the other channel. He's one of the only fighters that I've covered fights, and he's still fighting today. Every single Chavez Jr. fight. And he just hurts me. But he can redeem himself if he beats Jake Paul up and puts it into the shenanigans. And then we can get Opeatai versus Gilberto Ramirez. Unfortunately, it'll probably happen in Saudi Arabia. I doubt if it'll happen in the States. And I get sometimes Australian fans, y'all can get a little too some of y'all can get a little too arrogant. I'm gonna be very honest with you from what I read from the comments. Jai Opeatai is good, but ain't nobody come. They're not. Zurdo Ramirez is not, I don't care what stadium you put it in. Zurdo Ramirez is not coming over there to fight Jai Opeatai. He's not coming to Australia, and he's the A side. He's got 2 belts. So let's see how this plays out. They said Jai Opeatai is in the building, but they would have interviewed him by now. And if he is in the building, it's good for him to show up and try to get some talks done. But we'll see how the night plays out. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView 360. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.